Okay, welcome to this week's episode of Luv Subbin, and this week we're going to be talking about our Zip Dee Awning.
Right, it's a gorgeously sunny day, and we want to talk about all the tricks and tips we've learned over 18 years of experience.
Right, I mean, we pull this thing out at least once or twice a day, every day that we're out camping.
Exactly. So we're going to give you some travel tips.
Some tips on how to deploy it and to bring it back. Let's go ahead and start this episode by talking about our Luv Subbin's 3 rules for the Zip Dee Awning.
Exactly.
The first of which, bring it in every single night. Do not ever leave it outside. We have never ever done that.
No, exactly.
Second rule
is that you can leave it out in the rain, but you have to know how to do it.
Right. And finally, the third rule is you never leave your Zip Dee Awning open during the day. Don't go off to the store or whatever. You bring it back in. And that's why I say we probably open it and close it a couple times
a day. Exactly.
We've seen, I remember that time we were at Hatteras, North Carolina, and a storm whipped up, and we probably saw 3 awnings
destroyed. Completely
destroyed. Not just Zip Dee ones either, but regular awnings.
And you never know with a storm whether a microburst is going to come up. So you need to be prepared and watch the weather.
Okay.
So on travel days, what do we do?
Right, so first we follow our checklist, our departing checklist. And you can see we've got 2 items here that are pertinent to the Zip Dee Awning, and that is item number 8 and number 9. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten our wheelies. Now, I used to, many years ago, use this thing, and I think that's what's in the Zip Dee manual. As you can see, that's a pain in the butt. I hate doing that. And that's how you would tighten it.
Not the easiest way to do it.
No. So I've long ago since gotten lazy. And I have the stool.
It's portable, right? We put it in the truck.
Right, this travels with us, so it's always with us. So I'll just climb up here. And that does 2 things. A, it's super fast. And B, you can really make sure it gets tightened.
Yeah, right? That's important.
You can really reef down on that thing. I'll then do the same to the other side. And you can kind of tell when they're reefed down tight enough because this arm isn't moving anywhere. If this arm moves at all, you've not tightened it down enough. Next thing I'll do is I have these black
This is an extra step.
Velcro straps that'll strap these guys together.
It's an extra step just to keep it stable.
Yeah, it's not going to keep the awning from coming out if something really, really bad happens, but it will keep those 2 guys from...
Keep the movement to a minimum on the road.
Yep. So we get the little strap there. And these guys just hang down below when we're using the awning.
And
then finally, I'm wearing my Citadel shirt, so I can't help but doing this all the time. So if any of you classmates are watching, yeah, I do walk around doing this all the time. But anyway, the most important part is to get this travel lock in position. Very important.
Yep. And also, what I do when we travel is I go through and walk around the Airstream as an extra step and just check and make sure everything looks right. Like that's hooked and the awnings are secure.
Now I'm going to show you how to properly open a Zip Dee Awning. The first step to opening your Zip Dee Awning is to take your little tool here that comes with the awning and to open your travel lock. So you're going to come over here and open that little guy. The next step is I always have these Velcro straps to keep the things from moving around. And according to Zip Dee, you're supposed to take this little guy and kind of open your wheelies. That's why those wheelies have holes in them. But it never seems to work for me. I mean, you can do it that way, but I have this stool, and you can see how I was struggling there. I'm just going to take this little guy Wow, it was squeaking.
Yeah.
That's very un-Luv Subbin-like to have something squeak. We're going to have to fix that right after this. Set this aside. And the next step, I do this, I think, a little bit different than a lot of people. Because I think this thing here is intended to grab your loop. But I always, I can never get that. I don't know why. Maybe you guys can do it. I use the edge, I'm just careful, and I use the edge that's designed to open your little wheelies. And then I'll grab it real quick. So here's the process that I've always used. Grab that little guy, pull, and then grab. Okay. I have a little Velcro thingy that I keep on that, and we'll roll this guy up. And again, this is the vulnerable part of when your awning is halfway there and halfway not, because if wind catches it now, you're not going to have the rafter arms to support it. So
if it was really windy, we probably wouldn't have even deployed it in the first place.
Right, if it's super windy. The Zip Dee Awning says if it's too windy to be comfortable, it's too windy for the awning, but that's probably a good rule of thumb.
And you're just wrapping the Velcro around your strap,
right?
right?
And then I wrap it up like that so that it gets out of the way, so that it looks a little bit more ship shape or Airstream shape. All right, the next step is to go ahead and take your rafter arms. And I've seen some posts where people have put them in other weird locations like this. The rafter arm, the lobster claw, which is that piece right there, goes onto the roller tube shaft. So you hook him onto the roller tube shaft, not anywhere else, okay? And I then come around and I get a nice straight angle and lock it on. I don't like doing this because you're giving weird forces. I come straight on like that.
Repeat for the other side.
And I repeat. And then it's just a matter of raising the awning arm. And yes, on my list of things to buy are the Zip Dee handles. But I just...
What are the Zip Dee handles?
They're little handles that go on here that make this process a lot easier. So you pull the nut and you raise it up. And they just make raising that a little bit easier. And there we have a properly deployed Zip Dee Awning so that we can get out of the sun, because it's super sunny here today.
Exactly.
All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is what happens when it rains.
Right, exactly. You have to adjust it.
Right. I see on the forums a lot, on the forums, people talk about this is only a sunshade.
No, it can be used in the rain.
Absolutely. We've used it in the rain all the time. Now, that comes with a couple caveats.
Exactly.
If it is absolutely coming down, cats and dogs,
right,
we'll have pulled it up.
Exactly.
Our big fear is the wind. So let's go ahead and do what you need to do. First of all, it's simple. You can see here, the Zip Dee Awning has these catch points that are drilled into the rafter arms. And so when it looks like it's going to rain, all you've got to do
is tilt it.
Is drop your arm so that it tilts one way or another, and that'll let the rain off. I usually do this whichever way is facing down. So if this way is facing down, I'm going to tilt that side down so that the rain doesn't kind of fall here
Puddle and run through your campsite.
Right, so I'll tip it down whatever way is
away from the campground.
Right. The thing is, though, you got to remember when you're depending upon where your door is, you've got to watch so that you don't catch your door on your awning, because we've done that a few times, unfortunately. You can see this little nick here, but it's still holding true its waterproofness.
Yep.
But that's how you can use your Zip Dee Awning in the rain. Don't think you can't, because we do it all the time.
Exactly.
You just got to be careful.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to show you how I go ahead and raise my awning all the time. So the first step is to bring the awning arms down. So we're going to bring those down. Pull this little notch, this little screw. Bring it on down. Grab the other one. Then we're going to take the rafter arms. We're going to pull the little clicky thingy here to release the spring.
Clicky thingy?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. We're going to take the lobster claw and we're going to hitch it onto its little
Bottom little hook.
Little nut there.
Do the same thing to the other side.
Same thing to the other side. All right, so here's the tip I'm going to give you. I've been reading a lot on the forums about this little strap getting wound up in the tube.
It's never happened to us.
To be honest, I have no idea how that can happen. Here's how I do it. I'll just show you how I do it. I take my little awning pole, take the red side this time, and you got to remember, especially in windy conditions, if you're trying to take it down, this is the point at which your awning is most vulnerable because you don't have the latching.
You don't have the extra support.
You don't have the support, the latching arms there to hold it down. So this is the critical point. Loop around the little red handle part, and then you just give it a nice gentle push. You attach, and then go up.
And it's easy as that.
It's easy as that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and simulate the loop getting wrapped up into the tube. Now I'm not going to do that on purpose because I don't do that. But let's just say your loop gets wound up in your tube. What would you do? We're going to show you next. So if your loop is completely wound up, our recommendation, we've never done this before, and my film producer doesn't want us doing it all the way, but it would be to have two people each grab this.
Is this the outer arm, right?
What's that?
This is the outer arm?
Yeah, the outer arm you grab, and see how you're rolling it like that? And you would go ahead and unroll the awning completely. So my camera person is letting me do it.
And suddenly your loop is available.
And suddenly your loop will be available. So that's how to go ahead and do that should your loop get wound up. But if you follow my way of doing it, your loop
it won't happen.
Will never get wound up. Before we talk about the last Zip Dee awning tip, make sure you check out this video up above here where we installed a Zip Dee sunshade. It's super easy to do and it really cuts down on the sun glare and helps you enjoy your Zip Dee awning even more. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is something that most people don't even know is out there, and that is the Zip Dee awning Caravan position.
And what is the Caravan position for?
Good question. The Caravan position is when the Zip Dee awning is extended only halfway. And that's good for, say, if you're in a caravan and you're having to be packed very tightly close together, or say there's a tree in the way or some other obstruction that doesn't allow you to extend the awning all the way. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do the Caravan position halfway. You start off same way with the wheelies and the travel lock, but you extend the awning only about halfway out. About like that-ish or so. You come over. Grab the rafter arm.
So very similar to what you do regularly, except it's only deployed halfway.
Right. Now the key here is that the rafter arms, you notice I didn't ratchet them tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just back this off just a little bit. So that you can see the rafter arm is butted up against where it bends right there. Thus, your Zip Dee awning is deployed only halfway.
Looking good.
And then if you've ever wondered why there's that one little hole on the Zip Dee awning at the end of the bar here, and that's so you can raise it just up a little bit. And maybe tilt it for the rain to come off. So now it's tilted to the back, the rain can come off, and your Zip Dee awning's in its Caravan position.
That's looking good. Now how do you get it out of that?
And by the way, that's a good question. We have never done the Caravan position ever, except for this video the first time. So
let's see.
You would.
I think you would pull it down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So that you can get the arms loose.
Yep.
You don't want to lose your loop. That would be funny at the very end, right?
I don't lose my loop.
Well done.
There you have it. All right, well, there you have it. Tips and tricks for using your Zip Dee awning.
I hope you found them helpful.
Yeah, we're sitting out here under the sun in the nice shade with our Zip Dee chairs, which we also think are pretty sweet.
Exactly.
If you like this video,
Give us a big thumbs up
click to subscribe if you haven't already done so.
and comment below if you have some tips or tricks for your Zip Dee awning.
Yeah, because every time we get comments, we usually learn something, and it makes our RV life a little bit better.
Exactly.
We come out with RV and Airstream related content every Tuesday.
Thanks for watching.